There always seems to be some confusion on which glue tools to use when setting up a hierarchy object for animating. It is very important to choose the proper tools. We have glue as sibling and glue as child. We'll use the split hierarchy tool to reduce our object, our robotic arm, down to its individual components. And we will select the yellow arm and use the glue as sibling tool to glue on the sphere. Now, think of it in this manner. If you use the glue as sibling tool to put together groups of objects that will remain on the same level of the hierarchy, meaning that none of these objects will be manipulated individually, or there would be no joint there, that's fine. Otherwise, you will almost always use the glue as child. Let's break this back down and show you also. If you notice, when I glued this up, I'd selected the yellow arm first, then glued on the sphere. The reason I did this is, well, let's look at it the other way around. We'll select the sphere, glue on the yellow arm, and let's rotate the object. You will notice that that level of the hierarchy, that subgroup, takes on the axis of the first selected object when you go to do a glue operation. So since our yellow arm is already, the axis is already set to rotate exactly where we want, we would want to select it first and then add on any other objects. That way our level will inherit the axis of our properly set up arm. Let's look at the glue as child tool now. This is the one you'll use most often. It is a common practice. A lot of people will tell people to start at the extremity and use the glue as child tool and just work your way down to the base. There's really nothing wrong with this by any means, but it will cause you a little extra work, and here's why. The same thing that we ran into with when we selected the sphere first will apply here also. Since the yellow arm was selected when we glued on the red arm, you will notice that our rotation part for that subgroup is now the axis of the yellow arm. It's very simple. You could go in and relocate that axis as long as you do it before any animation is created for this object. Let's split it back down and let's do it a much simpler and easier way. We'll select our base object and work out from there. Using the glue as child tool, we will glue on the next level, next object. Then we will move down through the hierarchy and select just our newly glued on part, and then we will continue using the glue as child and glue on the next segment. We will continue with this method until all of the objects are glued together. Now selecting the red arm and gluing on the yellow arm. And then selecting the yellow arm, and since the sphere will not move away from the yellow arm, then we can use the glue as sibling. And now each subgroup will use our previously set up axis so that we're not having to do the work twice. I hope this clears up a lot of confusion about the glue tools.